Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to what I promise will be the most eye-opening hour of your professional life. I'm Max Moscovoy, and today we are not just attending another presentation, we are witnessing the funeral of an entire industry and the birth of a revolution that will make you millions. You're about to discover AI-driven insights, the death of traditional research, and trust me, by the time we are done here, you'll never look at customer feedback the same way again. Some of you came here thinking you know how to research your customers. I'm here to tell you, you don't. And that's not your fault. The entire system has been broken for decades, and today we fix it forever. Let me tell you a story that will change everything you think you know about customer research. My name is Max, and for the past decade I've been watching companies, maybe companies just like yours, throw money into a burning fire. I've spent 15 years in this industry and I've seen the impossible happen. I've watched response rates crash from 40% when customers actually cared about giving feedback down to a pathetic 6%. Can you imagine? 6%. That means 94% of your customers are completely silent and you're making million-dollar decisions based on the opinions of the tiny minority who bother to respond. I've helped over 100 companies escape this nightmare, and today I'm going to help you join them. We're done with guessing what customers want. Today, we start knowing with absolute unshakable certainty. Stop everything you're doing right now and answer this question honestly, and I mean honestly. How confident are you that you truly know your customers' needs, pain points, and deepest desires? If you're sitting there thinking pretty confident, then you're about to get the shock of your life. If you're thinking not very confident, then congratulations, you're already ahead of 90% of business leaders who are living in complete denial. Here's the brutal truth. Most of you are flying blind, making decisions in the dark, hoping and praying that you're building what customers actually want. But hope is not a strategy, and prayer is not a business plan. You know you need to understand your customers better. You feel it in your gut every single day. But how? How do you crack the code when traditional surveys are dying a slow, painful death right before your eyes? Every day, surveys become less effective. Every day, fewer customers respond. Every day, the gap between you and your customers grows wider. Maybe, and I'm just throwing this out there, maybe you don't know your customers as well as you think you do. And if that's true, then what does that mean for your business? What does that mean for your future? What does that mean for your competition who figures this out before you do? Alright? Time for some uncomfortable honesty. I want you to think about this month, just this month, and count how many surveys you personally have abandoned. Come on, don't lie to me. Was it 0 to 3 to 5, 6 to 10? Or was it so many you've lost count? The research shows that the average professional, that's you, abandons 7.3 surveys every single month. Now here is the million-dollar question that's going to blow your mind. If you want complete surveys, and you're a professional who understands their importance, why in the world do you expect your customers to complete yours? This is the moment of truth. This is where the entire house of cards comes crashing down. You've been expecting customers to do something you won't even do yourself. Are you ready for this? Because what I'm about to tell you is going to make you angry. The global market research industry is worth billion, that's billion with a B. But here's a scandal they don't want you to know. Billion of that is completely wasted. Wasted on incomplete data, wasted on surveys nobody finishes, wasted on insights that arrive too late to matter. Listen to these numbers and let them sink in. 94% of your customers never respond to your surveys. It takes an average of 67 days to get insights, and by then, the market has already moved. Companies are spending an average of $1,000 every year on research that fundamentally fails. This isn't just inefficiency, this is a crisis. This is your money being flushed down the drain while your competitors eat your lunch. Let me take you on a journey through time, a journey that explains how we ended up in this mess. Picture the 1990s, the golden age of customer research. Response rates of 25 to 40%. Customers were engaged. They wanted to help. Mail and phone surveys actually worked. Those were the days when customers trusted companies and believed their voices mattered. Then came the 2000s with digital disruption. Email surveys seemed like a breakthrough, but response rates started dropping to 15-20%. The first signs of survey fatigue began creeping in like a virus. The 2010s became the flood. Everyone and their grandmother had a survey. Response rates crashed to 10-15% at best, and mobile devices made everything worse because surveys weren't designed for tiny screens and fat fingers. And now, welcome to the 2020s, the breaking point. We're down to 4 to 7% response rates, and most of those responses are garbage. But here's the plot twist. AI is changing everything, and voice is emerging as our salvation. Look at these 2024 industry response rates and tell me this isn't a complete disaster. B2B SaaS, the supposedly sophisticated industry, only gets 6.2% response rates. E-commerce manages 7.8%. Mobile apps are dying at 4.1%. Even financial services with all their regulatory power can only squeeze out 5.5%. But wait, it gets worse. Of the few people who actually respond, 73% are rushing through as fast as possible, 41% are giving straight-line responses just to get it over with, and 89% are skipping the open-ended questions where the real insights live. You're not just dealing with low response rates, you're dealing with low-quality responses from people who wish they were anywhere else but filling out your survey. Let me make this personal. Let me show you exactly what this crisis is costing your business right now. Imagine you have 100,000 customers. That's not unrealistic for most of you here. With your current 3% response rate, you're hearing from just 3,000 people. That means 97,000 customers. 97,000 are completely silent. With an average customer lifetime value of $1,500 and a 15% churn rate, you have 14,550 customers churning away without ever telling you why. That's 21,825,000 in customer value walking out the door in complete silence. $21 million. That's not a rounding error. That's a catastrophe. That's your kid's college fund. That's your retirement. That's your company's future being destroyed by silence. Listen to me very carefully. In today's hyper-competitive landscape, customer understanding isn't a nice to have, it's survival. Companies that don't understand their customers don't just underperform, they die. Blind spots in customer knowledge lead to missed opportunities that your competitors grab. They lead to wasted resources on features nobody wants. They lead to competitive disadvantage that destroys your market position. Here are the facts that should terrify you. Only 21% of customers believe companies actually listen to their feedback. 96% of unhappy customers never complain directly, they just leave. Companies lose $75 billion annually due to poor customer experiences. And the gap between what you think customers want and what they actually need is growing wider every single day. Surveys are dying, and I'm going to tell you exactly why with 3 fatal blows. First, timing torture. Your surveys always arrive at the wrong moment. The emotion is gone. The experience is forgotten. You're asking customers to remember and care about something that happened days or weeks ago. And you're competing with Netflix, social media, and 1,000 other distractions for their attention. Second, question fatigue. How likely are you to recommend us on a scale of 1 to 10? Please rate your satisfaction. On a scale of very dissatisfied to very satisfied, stop. Your customers are sick of these same boring, repetitive, meaningless questions with zero personalization. Third, mobile misery. 72% of people abandon surveys on mobile devices because they're torture to complete. Tiny buttons, impossible scrolling. Surveys designed by people who apparently never tried to use a smartphone. You're asking people to type essays with their thumbs. Here's a truth bomb that's going to change everything you think you know about your survey data. 42% of your survey responses come from very happy customers who want to praise you. 38% come from very angry customers who want to vent their frustration. And only 20% represent the silent middle, your real customers. You're making strategic decisions based on the extremes. You're missing the majority voice. You're building products and services for the wrong customers. The happy customers will love anything you do. The angry customers will hate everything. And the 80% in the middle who actually drive your business are completely invisible to you. Let me tell you about a company that learned this lesson the hard way, Nike. One of the most successful brands in the world, with unlimited resources and the best market research money can buy, they decided to invest $2 million in developing self-lacing sneakers with app connectivity, Bluetooth control, firmware updates, and all the high-tech bells and whistles you could imagine. The marketing team was excited, the engineers were proud, the executives were convinced they had the next big thing. They probably had focus groups telling them this was revolutionary. But here's what happened when they actually launched. Despite all the hype, all the technology, all the investment, only 3% of Nike's customer base expressed any real interest. 3% after spending $2 million. The limiting factors, limited practical use, people didn't actually need self-lacing shoes. Price barrier, they were too expensive for a gimmick. Longevity concerns, customers worried about the technology breaking. This is what happens when you listen to the wrong voices. This is what happens when you build for the extremes instead of the middle. This is what happens when you trust traditional research methods. Nike's 2 million lesson teaches us three critical truths. First, technology without widespread utility risks becoming an expensive fad. Innovation for innovation's sake is not the customer-centric one. Second, true customer-centric innovation is crucial. High-tech solutions must solve real, widely shared problems, not just make headlines and win design awards. Third, long-term support drives trust. When you build something based on incomplete customer understanding, you end up disappointing your most dedicated fans and making them wary of future innovations. Nike could afford a million mistake. Can you? Let me take you inside your customer's mind when they see your survey request. This is what they're actually thinking. Another survey? Really? Didn't I just get one from these people last month? This will take forever. They say 2 minutes, but we all know it's going to be 15. They won't listen anyway. I've never seen any changes from the last 10 surveys I completed. I have 47 unread emails, 3 meetings today, and my boss is breathing down my neck about that report. The trust deficit is real. 78% believe surveys don't lead to change. 65% feel surveys are company-focused, not customer-focused. 91% would prefer to have a live conversation. Your customers don't hate you, they hate the process. If you're operating in global markets, this next point is going to hit you like a brick. In EMEA markets alone, your customers speak 23 plus different languages. But how many languages do your surveys support? Maybe 2 to 3 if you're lucky. 67% of people refuse to respond to surveys in their second language. You're not just missing responses, you're missing entire markets. You're literally excluding millions of potential customers because you're too lazy or too cheap to speak their language. While you're sitting there wondering why your European expansion isn't working, your multilingual competitors are eating your lunch in languages you don't even speak. By the time you get insights from traditional research, the game is already over. Let me walk you through the typical timeline of failure. Week 1 to 2. Survey design, debating questions in committee meetings. Week 3 to 6. Data collection, begging customers to respond. Week 7 to 8. Analysis, trying to make sense of incomplete data. Week 9 to 10. Reporting, creating PowerPoints nobody will read. Week 11. Insights arrive, the 67 days too late. But what happened while you were waiting? Your competitors launched 3 new features. 23% of your unhappy customers churned to better options. The market shifted twice. You're bringing a horse and buggy to a Formula One race. Open-ended questions should be where real insights live and breathe. Instead, they're where insights go to die a slow, painful death. The brutal truth: 83% of people skip open-ended questions entirely. They see the text box and think, nope, not today. Of the 11% who actually bother to answer, most give you 3-word responses: fine, good, nothing. You're missing the why behind the scores. You're missing the emotional context that drives decisions. You're missing unexpected insights that could revolutionize your business. You're missing innovation opportunities that could make you millions. That little text box was supposed to be your gold mine, but it's turned into a graveyard of missed opportunities. Let me tell you about 3 companies that learned these lessons the hard way, so you don't have to. Case 1. The SaaS disaster. A software company surveyed 50,000 users and got a pathetic 3.2% response rate. But instead of recognizing the problem, they doubled down. They built features based on feedback from this tiny vocal minority. What happened next? A 41% churn rate. 41%. Nearly half their customers left because they built for the wrong people. They listened to the squeaky wheels instead of the silent majority who actually paid the bills. That company almost went bankrupt because they trusted traditional survey methods. They're still recovering 3 years later. Imagine that. This SaaS company thought they were being data-driven. They thought they were listening to customers. The CEO proudly announced in board meetings, "We surveyed 50,000 users." What it didn't say was that only 1,600 people responded, and most of those were either raving fanatics or angry complainers. They spent 6 months and 2.3 million building features that the vocal minority screamed for. Meanwhile, the 48,000 customers who didn't respond, they were quietly evaluating competitors. They were talking to their colleagues. They were planning their exit. When the churn tsunami hit at 41%, the executives were blindsided. But our survey said customers wanted these features. Yes, the 3% who responded wanted them. The other 97% wanted something completely different, and when they didn't get it, they voted with their wallets and left. That company's stock price dropped 60% in 6 months. Half their workforce was laid off, all because they trusted a broken system. Case 2 will make your blood boil. An e-commerce company with millions of mobile customers made a fatal assumption. Their surveys were primarily completed by desktop users, because who in their right mind wants to fill out a survey on a tiny phone screen? So what happened? Desktop users said the checkout process was fine, because it was fine on desktop. Meanwhile, mobile customers were abandoning their carts in droves because the mobile checkout was a nightmare. But nobody heard their screams because mobile users don't complete surveys. The result? 4.2 million in lost revenue in just 1 quarter. Their main competitor figured out the mobile problem, fixed it, and launched a marketing campaign around their seamless mobile experience. Guess where all those frustrated customers went? By the time this company realized their mistake, their competitor had captured 30% of their mobile market share. 30% gone, because they listened to the wrong customers. Case 3 is a master class in cultural blindness. A global app company was expanding into Asian markets but kept all their customer research in English only. Everyone speaks English, right? Wrong. They missed critical feedback about cultural preferences, local payment methods, and user interface expectations because their surveys were linguistic torture for non-native speakers. Meanwhile, a local competitor was actually talking to customers in their native languages. The result? They lost 2 million potential users in just 6 months. 2 million! The competitor didn't just steal market share, they became the dominant player while our global company was left wondering why their world-class product failed. The competitor's secret: they spoke to customers in 12 local languages and discovered insights that transformed their entire product strategy. They understood cultural nuances that the global player completely missed. Here's where everything changes. Here's where we stop talking about problems and start talking about solutions. Traditional surveys kill innovation because they ask traditional questions that get traditional answers. When you ask, rate our checkout process 1 to 10, you get a meaningless number, 7.2. So what? What does 7.2 tell you? Nothing actionable. But when voice asks, tell me about your last purchase experience, magic happens. You get, I almost gave up 3 times because the loading screen made me think the site was broken, and then when I tried to use my corporate credit card there was no option for that, so I had to start over with a different payment method, and by then I was so frustrated I almost bought from your competitor instead. That is innovation gold. That tells you exactly what to fix. That gives you a roadmap to millions in additional revenue. Which approach gives you actionable insights? Which approach tells you what to build next? Which approach makes you money? Every single survey you send is damaging your relationship with your customers. Let me walk you through the customer emotional journey that's destroying your brand. Email arrives. Oh God, another survey from these people. Didn't I just get one last month? Open survey, 20 questions why they said this would take 2 minutes. Liars. Question 5. Here we go again with the same boring questions. Do they think I have nothing better to do? Abandoned survey. I'm never doing one of their surveys again. They clearly don't respect my time. This is the compound effect of survey abuse. Each survey is a small withdrawal from your emotional bank account with customers. You're making deposits of zero value and withdrawals of trust, respect, and goodwill. The result? Your customers develop survey PTSD. They see your name in their inbox and immediately think delete. You've trained them to ignore you. Picture this scene in boardrooms across the world, maybe even your boardroom. The CMO stands up proudly. Great news! Our net promoter score is 42. Customer satisfaction is strong. The CEO beams. Excellent work. Let's increase marketing spend. The CFO approves the budget. If customers are happy, let's invest more. But here's what nobody mentions. That NPS of 42 is based on 6% of customers. 6%, you're making million-dollar decisions based on the opinions of 6 out of every 100 customers. What about the other 94%? Are they happy? Are they planning to leave? Are they recommending you to friends? You have no idea. You're flying a jumbo jet in thick fog with broken instruments. This is executive blindness at its worst. Beautiful dashboards showing precise numbers that mean absolutely nothing. Statistical significance requires representative samples, but you're building strategies on fragments and calling it data-driven decision-making. We are standing at the precipice of the greatest transformation in customer research history. 2025 isn't just another year, it's the year everything changes forever. 4 massive forces are converging right now like a perfect storm. First, AI has reached the point where voice interactions feel completely natural. Your customers can't tell they're talking to a machine. Second, customer expectations have shifted. They expect conversational experiences. They're tired of being treated like data points. Third, your competitors are moving fast. While you're debating whether to change, they're already implementing voice intelligence and stealing your customers. Fourth, traditional methods are collapsing faster than a house of cards. Every day you wait, fewer customers respond to your surveys. This is your crossroads moment. You can either lead this revolution or become its victim. There is no middle ground. You either transform now or watch your competitors eat your lunch. But I didn't drag you through this journey of horror stories and devastating statistics to leave you in despair. I brought you here because there is hope. There is a solution. There is a way to turn this nightmare into your greatest competitive advantage. Imagine, just imagine for a moment, if you could. Hear from 60 to 80% of your customers instead of 6%. That's not a dream, that's reality with voice intelligence. Get insights in hours instead of months. While your competitors are still designing surveys, you're already implementing solutions. Understand the why behind every customer decision, not just what they think, but why they think it, how they feel about it, and what would make them happier. Build exactly what customers actually want instead of guessing. No more million-dollar mistakes like Nike's self-lacing shoes. Do it all automatically while you sleep. AI agents working 24/7 to understand your customers better than they understand themselves. This isn't science fiction. This isn't a fantasy. This is happening right now with companies just like yours. Your transformation starts today, not next month, not next quarter. Not when you have time, today. We are going to take you on a 2 modules journey that will revolutionize your business. These are the first 2 modules of the longer series, dedicated to our course on how to improve the customer experience with the AI voice agents. Module 1 is today. You just survived the problem diagnosis. You now understand why traditional research is dying and why you need to act immediately. Module 2, we are going to discover voice intelligence. You'll learn the science behind why customers open up to AI in ways they never do with surveys. Next, we will share additional modules as soon as they will be ready. Your mission this week is called the Research Reality Audit, and it's going to be a brutal wake-up call that transforms how you see your current customer research forever. Challenge 1. Document your current state. List every single research method you're using. Calculate your true response rates, not the inflated ones marketing reports. Identify your biggest pain points and face them head-on. Challenge 2. Calculate your silent majority. Use our calculator to discover exactly how much revenue you're risking because of customer silence. Find your missing voices and estimate the fortune in lost insights. Challenge 3. Survey your own surveys. Here's the most important part. Take one of your own surveys. Time it. Feel the frustration. Note every moment you want to abandon it. Experience what your customers experience. This isn't busy work. This is the foundation of your transformation. You can't fix what you don't acknowledge. Before we continue, let me give you 5 battle cries that will guide your transformation. First, 94% of your customers are silent. You're making decisions based on 6%. Every major business decision you make is based on incomplete information. Second, traditional research is broken and getting worse every day. The longer you wait to change, the more broken it becomes. Third, the cost is massive in money, time, and missed opportunities. Every day of delay costs you customers, revenue, and competitive advantage. Fourth, your customers want conversation, not interrogation. They're begging to be heard, but you're forcing them to fill out forms. Fifth, the solution exists and you're about to master it. You don't have to guess anymore. You don't have to hope anymore. You can know. Write these down, tattoo them on your brain, share them with your team. These truths will set you free. Coming up next, we are diving into the science of voice intelligence, and what you're going to discover will blow your mind. You'll discover why voice captures 300% more insights than traditional surveys. The neuroscience is incredible, When people speak instead of write, they bypass their analytical brain and tap directly into their emotional truth. We'll explore the psychology of vocal communication and how AI understands emotion better than human researchers. You'll see real comparisons between voice and survey responses that will shock you. Your pre-work assignment? Listen to 3 customer service calls this week. Pay attention to what you hear versus what gets written in the notes. Notice the emotion, the hesitation, the excitement, the frustration. That's what surveys miss and voice captures. Get ready to have your mind blown by the science behind the revolution. Before we move forward, I want you to remember one quote that will change everything. The greatest tragedy in business is not angry customers, it's silent ones. Right now, at this very moment, 94% of your customers have something important to say to you. They have insights that could make you millions. They have ideas that could revolutionize your industry. They have warnings about problems that could save your company, but they're waiting for someone to listen, waiting for someone who cares enough to actually hear their voice instead of forcing them to fill out another meaningless form. That someone is about to be you. You're about to become the person who finally listens. You're about to become the company that actually cares. You're about to unlock the voice of your customers and transform it into competitive advantage. Your customers are waiting for you to save them from survey hell. Are you ready to be their hero? Welcome to Module 2, the science of voice intelligence. If Module 1 was about diagnosing the disease, Module 2 is about understanding the cure. We are about to dive deep into the fascinating world of neuroscience, psychology, and artificial intelligence. You're going to discover why humans are literally wired to communicate through voice, why AI can understand emotions better than humans, and why voice intelligence represents the biggest breakthrough in customer research since the invention of the telephone. Get ready to have your assumptions shattered and your understanding transformed. The science behind this revolution is even more incredible than the results. Welcome back, customer research revolutionaries. Last week, we exposed the death of traditional research, and judging by the messages I've been getting, many of you had some very uncomfortable conversations with your teams about response rates. Let me recap the devastating reality we uncovered. 94% of customers are silent, traditional methods are broken beyond repair, and we desperately need a revolution. But today we unlock the future. Today you will understand the science of voice that will make you a master of emotional intelligence. Today you will learn to design conversations that convert skeptical customers into enthusiastic collaborators. By the end of today's session, you'll never think about customer feedback the same way again. You'll see every traditional survey as a relic of a primitive past, and you'll understand why voice intelligence is the inevitable future. Let's start by putting the final nail in the coffin of traditional research methods. These dinosaur approaches aren't just ineffective, they're anti-human. Traditional surveys and focus groups are static. They capture one frozen moment in time, like a photograph of a moving train. Meanwhile, customer emotions and opinions are dynamic, flowing, changing every second. They have limited scale. You reach a pathetic fraction of your customer base while missing the vast majority who could transform your business. They're potentially biased. Question framing manipulates responses, group dynamics suppress honest opinions, and facilitator bias skews results. They're time-consuming and expensive, slow feedback loops that take months to complete while your market moves at the speed of light. But here's the real tragedy: the conversation is moving on without you. Your customers are talking, sharing, expressing themselves constantly on social media, in reviews, with friends. They're having rich, emotional conversations about your brand, and you're missing all of it because you're stuck in survey hell. Here comes the breakthrough that changes everything. Are you ready for this? Because what I'm about to tell you will revolutionize how you think about human communication. Text-based communication. Your precious surveys captures only 7% of human communication. 7%? You're missing 93% of what customers are actually trying to tell you. Text gives you just words, cold, lifeless, emotionless words. It captures only conscious responses that have been filtered, edited, and sanitized. It's like trying to understand a symphony by reading the sheet music instead of hearing the orchestra. But voice-based communication captures 38% of the full human experience. Voice carries tone that reveals true feelings, pace that shows excitement or hesitation, emotion that exposes what customers really care about. Subconscious reveals that bypass their mental filters. You've been trying to understand your customers while missing 93% of their actual communication. No wonder you're confused. No wonder you're making wrong decisions. You've been operating with one eye closed and both ears plugged. Now we're getting to the really fascinating stuff. Let me take you inside your customer's brain and show you exactly what happens when they encounter your survey versus when they speak naturally. When writing survey responses, customers use their prefrontal cortex, the analytical, critical, judgmental part of their brain. This is the editor brain that filters everything, suppresses emotion, creates slow and deliberate responses, and produces sanitized corporate speak. But when speaking naturally, customers use their limbic system, the emotional, authentic, unfiltered part of their brain. This is where true feelings live. This is where fast, natural responses come from. This is where authentic reactions are born. Here's the key insight that will transform your business. Voice bypasses the editing brain completely. When customers speak to your AI agent, they're not filtering their responses through corporate politeness. They're giving you direct access to their emotional truth. This isn't marketing hype. This is neuroscience. This is how the human brain actually works. You've been trying to get honest feedback from the part of the brain that's designed to lie. Let me demonstrate the power of voice with a real-world example that will make you want to throw every survey in the trash. Survey question: how was your experience? Customer process: 45 seconds to type, edited 3 times, final sanitized answer: good. What did you learn? Nothing. Good tells you absolutely nothing actionable. Same question asked by voice AI: how was your experience? Customer response in 3 seconds with no editing. Well, actually it was frustrating because the loading screen made me think something was broken, and then when I tried to check out, the payment form kept rejecting my card even though I knew it was valid, so I had to try 3 different payment methods before it finally worked. 300% more data in 90% less time, and every word is pure gold. You now know exactly what to fix. You have a roadmap for improvement. You have actionable intelligence instead of meaningless scores. This is the difference between getting a weather report and actually feeling the rain. Here's something that will blow your mind. Humans have been evolutionarily programmed for voice communication for 100,000 years. But we've only been writing for 5,000 years. We've only had digital surveys for 30 years. You're trying to understand customers using a 30-year-old method when their brains are wired for a 100,000-year-old process. Our customers' brains are literally wired for storytelling, not for feeling, for conversation, not interrogation, for connection, not transaction. When you force customers to fill out surveys, you're fighting against 100,000 years of human evolution. You're asking them to communicate in the most unnatural way possible. It's like asking a fish to climb a tree and then wondering why it's struggling. Voice communication is as natural as breathing. It's how humans have shared information, built relationships, and expressed emotions since the dawn of our species. When you tap into voice, you're working with human nature instead of against it. Here's where things get really interesting, and this might be the most counterintuitive breakthrough in customer research history. Research shows that people are 23% more honest with AI than with humans. Can you imagine? 23%? This completely destroys everything we thought we knew about human-to-human connection. Why does this happen? Because there's no judgment fear. Customers don't worry about hurting the AI's feelings. There's no social pressure. They don't have to be polite or diplomatic. There's consistent patience. The AI never gets frustrated or rushes them. There's perfect memory. Every word is captured and valued. A healthcare company discovered that patients reveal 67% more symptoms to AI voice agents than to human doctors. Imagine what your customers aren't telling you because they're afraid of human judgment. This honesty paradox means your AI voice agent will learn things about your customers that you never knew. They'll confess frustrations they've never shared. They'll reveal desires they've kept secret. They'll tell you truths that could revolutionize your business. The machines aren't just more efficient, they're more trusted. How's that for a plot twist? We've just unlocked the scientific secrets behind the voice intelligence revolution. We've seen how the human brain works, why voice is superior to text, and how AI creates unprecedented levels of customer honesty. But knowledge without application is worthless. In our next segment, we are going to see these principles in action with real companies, real results, and real transformations that will inspire you to immediate action. The science is proven, the technology is ready. The only question left is, are you ready to join the revolution? This is where voice intelligence becomes absolutely revolutionary. Traditional surveys give you one pathetic snapshot days after the experience is over. It's like trying to understand a movie by looking at a single blurry photograph taken in the dark. But voice intelligence creates a continuous emotional map of your customer's entire journey. Listen to this example from actual AI voice interviews.
Hey, it's Ara here. Would you mind giving us some feedback?
Yeah, I think it is a great app and it's helping me really well improve my communication and also telling me about what am I missing out on. And yeah, like getting a personalized opinion is better as it can also like help me practically improve my loopholes.
That's fantastic to hear. Personalized feedback really does pack a punch, doesn't it? Now, can you share what specific aspects of the effective feedback loops you found most valuable? And was there anything that felt a bit murky or unclear?
I think the content is very summarized, but actually it also helps that um, how pro- how procrastinating nature is of mine, so it helps with it the concise content. But I have to rewatch the same content again and again to understand it properly, and also it is helping me. I think the best thing in this app is like the personal AI which is talking to me and also responding to me very clearly and also understanding what I mean. Also, it can catch the articulation of my voice and suggest me about what betterments can be made further. I think this will help me improve a lot.
I appreciate your insights. It sounds like the concise content is a double-edged sword for you, helpful but also requiring some extra attention. Your praise for the personal AI is music to my circuits. Now, if you could tweak one thing about the feedback process or the content, what would that be?
I think the AI which I am interacting with should have a memory and also remember whatever I spoke to it, and which will enable it to help me further whenever I drop off and again ask about the same query. It may remember the things I spoke earlier and also help me further with the same issues and also give me better feedbacks and replies.
That's a solid idea. A memory feature would definitely make interactions feel more personal and tailored. It's like having a conversation with a friend who remembers your last chat. Thank you for that suggestion. Is there anything else you'd like to see improved or added to make your experience even better?
No, that's all. The app is great, and I think it will help me a lot prepare for my upcoming interview.
I'm glad to hear that. Best of luck with your upcoming interview. Remember, you've got the tools to shine. Thanks for sharing your thoughts today. They're invaluable for us. Keep up the great work.
This isn't just data. This is a GPS system for customer emotions. You can navigate directly to the problems and fix them before they become disasters. Every moment becomes a competitive advantage. Here's where everything changes from extraction to collaboration. With traditional surveys, customers think they're testing me and become defensive. They put up walls. They give safe, boring, politically correct answers. But with voice conversations, customers think they're listening to me and become collaborative. They become your partners, they become your advisors, they become your innovation team. This creates a magical transformation. From respondent to partner, from data point to advisor, from transaction to relationship, your customers want to be heard. They're dying to help you improve. They have $1 million ideas locked in their heads. But surveys make them feel like lab rats while voice makes them feel like consultants. When customers feel heard, they don't just give you feedback, they give you their passion. They don't just answer questions, they solve your problems. They become evangelists for your brand because you actually listened. Prepare yourself for a truth bomb that will shatter everything you think you know about your customers. What people report in surveys, I always read reviews. 89%, price is most important. 76%, I researched thoroughly. 84%, what voice reveals about actual behavior, I actually just like the color. My friend recommended it. I bought it on impulse because the ad was funny. This is the gap between aspiration and reality, between how customers want to be seen and how they actually behave. Surveys capture their idealized self-image while voice captures their authentic truth. Your customers aren't lying to you, they're lying to themselves. They want to believe they're rational, research-driven decision makers, but voice reveals they're emotional, impulsive, relationship-driven humans. Key learning: voice captures reality, not aspirations, and reality is where your competitive advantage hides. Let me show you the difference between mechanical interrogation and natural conversation flow. Survey flow is rigid, you know? It's predictable, boring, and soul crushing. It's like forcing customers to march in formation when they want to dance. Voice conversation is dynamic and fluent. First there's open question leading to some story, then it's follow up, maybe some deeper insight, and natural close. It's engaging, insightful, and much more interactive. It's alive, it flows like a river, adapting to every curve and finding the path of least resistance. The design principle that will revolutionize your research: let customers lead, AI follows. Stop trying to control the conversation and start facilitating it. Stop interrogating and start listening. Stop extracting and start exploring. When customers lead the conversation, they take you to places you never expected. They reveal problems you didn't know existed. They suggest solutions you never considered. They become your research partners instead of your research subjects. Here's where AI voice agents become absolutely brilliant. While surveys use rigid logic like if answer tolerates 8, skip to Q7, voice intelligence responds with emotional intelligence. Listen to this magic in action.
Hi, it's Lisa. How are you today?
I'm good.
Great to hear. Congrats on setting your second goal. Was breaking it down into actionable steps helpful for you?
Yes, it was.
Awesome. What's the biggest challenge you're facing in achieving this new goal?
Right now, it's majorly about consistency.
I get that. Staying consistent can be tough. How has brain helped you in staying on track with your goals?
Right now, I'm just starting, so I'll be discovering more about it.
That makes sense. It's like diving into a new game, right? What are you hoping to learn or achieve with brain as you explore?
I wish to achieve the goals that I mentioned as soon as possible with the right path.
Got it. A clear path really helps. Just remember, progress takes time. You've got this. Do you feel motivated to keep pushing through those challenges?
Yes, I do, and I know I'll make it one day.
That's the spirit. Believing in yourself is key. If you ever need tips or resources from Brain, just ask. What's the first step you're planning to take next?
I would be starting following the path right from tomorrow because this is the night I have set my goals and
That sounds like a solid plan. Starting fresh tomorrow can feel exciting. Do you have a specific time or routine in mind for when you'll dive into your goals?
I wouldn't say that I have specific time because I am doing a job side by side, but I wish to up. So I'll be just finding out time and setting up like minimum of 2 to 3 years for this particular goal.
Balancing a job and your goals is impressive. Setting aside 23 hours when you can is a smart approach. Just stay flexible with it. Do you think the skills you're building will help you in your job too?
Yes, for sure. And this would also help me to excel in the field that I dream of becoming one day, and also to get a handsome amount, of course.
That's a great motivation. Excelling in your dream field and having those financial rewards makes it all worthwhile. Which specific skills are you most excited to work on with Brain?
I would like to start with basics because obviously basics needs to be cleared first, and then probably moving on to my goal. Also, like I'll be starting with a very basic role that is of data analyst, so I'll be learning that first. And also integrating it with AI because obviously it's a cherry on top, and then progressing towards AI engineer or a data scientist.
That sounds like a solid plan. Starting with data analysis is a smart move, especially with the growing integration of AI. Building that foundation will set you up nicely for those advanced roles. Do you feel prepared to tackle the basics? Or is there anything you're unsure about?
It's not, I don't know, like if I could be sure now, but with time, for sure, it will be fine. And I'll be able to cope up with the things and achieve my goals, small steps each day.
That's a great mindset. Small steps definitely add up over time. It's all about the journey, right? Just take it day by day, and you'll see progress. Anything else you'd like to discuss or goals you want to share?
Mm, I'll be adding more goals, like if something else comes to my mind. But right now, that's all.
Sounds good. Keeping it open for new goals is a smart move. If inspiration strikes, you'll be ready. Thanks for sharing your thoughts with me. I'm here to support you whenever you need it.
Each response shapes the next question. The AI is reading emotional cues. It's following conversational threads. It's digging deeper into what matters most to this specific customer. This isn't pre-programmed logic. This is adaptive intelligence. Every conversation is unique. Every customer gets personalized attention. Here's the science that explains why voice gets 10x better participation rates. When we are talking about the survey cognitive load, it's 5 tasks. Read question, interpret meaning, formulate response, type answer, edit response. That's 5 brain tasks fighting for mental bandwidth. And voice cognitive load, it's only 2 tasks. Hear question, speak naturally. 60% less mental effort equals massive increases in participation. Customers choose the path of least resistance, and voice is that path. When you reduce cognitive load, customers don't just participate more, they participate better, they give longer responses, they share deeper insights, they stay engaged throughout the entire conversation. You're not just making it easier, you're making it truly enjoyable. You're transforming customer research from work into real and insightful conversation. This is where AI becomes more human than humans. Traditional surveys are cold, formal, distant. On a scale of 1 to 10, rate your satisfaction. But AI voice agents create genuine warmth, like, "Tell me about your experience. That sounds frustrating. What happened next? I understand how that would be upsetting." The customer response is phenomenal, and 78% feel genuinely heard. 83% share significantly more details. 72% complete the entire conversation. Your AI agent isn't just collecting data, it's building relationships, it's showing empathy, it's validating emotions, it's creating connection in a way that surveys never could. Customers finish these conversations feeling better about your brand, not worse. They feel valued, not exploited. They feel heard, not ignored. The difference in lasting impact will amaze you. After traditional surveys, customer remembers only annoyance, and the company learns something like a meaningless score of 7. Action taken. Generic, unfocused improvement. After voice conversations, customer remembers being heard and valued. Company learns specific, actionable pain points. Action taken. Targeted solutions that matter. Impact result. Customers are 4x more likely to notice improvements when they come from voice-based research. They remember the conversation. They feel invested in the solution. They become advocates for the changes. You're not just gathering better data, you're building better relationships. You're creating customers who feel like partners in your success. Voice intelligence adapts like a chameleon to every industry. It speaks the language your customers actually use. B2B SaaS customers talk about technical precision, feature functionality, and ROI impact. The AI understands integration challenges, workflow disruptions, and scalability concerns. E-commerce customers reveal emotional drivers, impulse decisions, and visual preferences. The AI captures the moment of desire, the hesitation before purchase, and the satisfaction of delivery. Mobile app users express frustration peaks, feature requests, and convenience expectations. The AI identifies the exact moment they want to delete your app and what could save it. This isn't one-size-fits-all research. This is precision-targeted intelligence that speaks your industry's language and understands your customer's unique psychology. Let me blow your mind with real results from real companies. Upskill Brain App was struggling with user retention. Traditional surveys weren't working. Users weren't responding. The team was flying blind. Then they implemented voice intelligence and discovered emotional journey patterns they never knew existed. They found the exact moments users got confused, frustrated, and excited. The results were spectacular. They identified pain points invisible to surveys. They discovered new customer needs nobody had articulated. They developed features based on real emotional triggers, and the result is 46% better retention rate. This wasn't just improvement, this was transformation. They went from guessing to knowing, from hoping to certainty, from reactive to proactive. Case 2. The social dating web app story will make you want to implement voice intelligence today. They were losing users during registration and couldn't figure out why. Traditional surveys suggested everything was fine, but conversion rates were terrible. Voice intelligence revealed user journey anxiety moments that surveys completely missed. Customers were afraid of judgment, they were worried about privacy, they were confused about pricing. The breakthrough insights: firstly, specific anxiety triggers during sign-up. Secondly, pricing confusion that killed conversions. Thirdly, need for real-time reassurance, actions taken, real-time assistance during vulnerable moments, an outcome, 23% conversion increase in just 3 months. They didn't just fix problems, they discovered emotional needs that transformed their entire user experience. This real estate agency story proves voice intelligence works in any industry. They were struggling with traditional surveys, getting 5.3% response rates from potential clients. Most people looking for homes wouldn't fill out lengthy property surveys. But when they deployed AI voice agents that could survey customers and provide personalized property information, everything changed. The transformation was incredible. Response rates jumped from 5.3% to 28%. The AI became a lead generation machine. Customers loved talking about their dream homes. Voice conversations became sales opportunities. They didn't just improve research, they created an entirely new lead generation channel that competitors couldn't copy. Now let's build your voice intelligence mastery. These are the essential skills that separate voice intelligence masters from traditional survey addicts. Opening questions must be broad, not narrow. Ask for stories, not scores. Say, tell me, not rate. Open the floodgates of conversation instead of forcing customers through narrow channels. Active listening cues show you care. I understand. Tell me more. What happened then? These phrases don't just gather information, they build trust and encourage deeper sharing. Emotional bridges acknowledge feelings, validate experiences, and build trust. When customers feel emotions, recognize them. When they share vulnerabilities, honor them. When they express frustration, validate it. These aren't just techniques, they're relationship building superpowers that transform strangers into advocates. Get ready for the most transformative workshop of your career. We are moving from theory to practice with 4 game-changing exercises. Exercise 1. Transform your worst survey question into a conversation starter that customers actually want to engage with. Exercise 2. Script emotional responses that make customers feel heard, understood, and valued. Exercise 3. Build conversation flows that adapt to customer emotions and follow their natural communication patterns. Exercise 4. Test voice patterns that reveal hidden insights and unlock customer truth. This isn't academic theory, this is hands-on mastery that you'll use immediately to revolutionize your customer research. Let me pull back the curtain and show you the incredible technology that makes this magic possible. Step 1. Voice capture. Natural speech flows like water into our system. Step 2. Speech recognition. Words and emotional patterns are instantly identified. Step 3. NLP processing. Intent and context are understood at human levels. Step 4. Emotion analysis. Sentiment and urgency are measured in real time. Step 5. Response generation. Natural follow-ups are created instantly. Step 6. Insight extraction. Actionable data is automatically organized. The beautiful part? You don't need any technical knowledge. The AI handles all the complexity while you focus on what matters, understanding your customers and growing your business. Your transformation starts this week with a 5-step implementation that will change your business forever. Step 1. Identify your worst survey, the one with terrible response rates and meaningless data. Step 2. Rewrite it as a natural conversation that customers will actually enjoy. Step 3. Map emotional touchpoints where customers might feel vulnerable or excited. Step 4. Talk to our AI voice agent to refine your approach and see the magic in action. Step 5. Test with a colleague and watch their amazement as they experience voice intelligence. Your deliverable, your first voice AI interview agent that will transform how you understand customers. This isn't homework, this is your competitive advantage in development. Let me destroy every objection that's preventing you from embracing this revolution. But what about statistical significance? Higher response rates give you better statistical significance. 20 quality voice interviews beat 1,000 survey non-responses. Emotion adds qualitative depth that numbers can't capture. AI ensures consistency across every conversation. What about survey benchmarks? Create new, better benchmarks. Track sentiment trends that actually matter. Measure emotional intelligence instead of meaningless scores. Lead your industry instead of following outdated standards. What about compliance and privacy? Voice is more transparent than typing. Customers know exactly what they're sharing. Clear consent processes are built in. You have better data control with voice than with traditional surveys. Every objection is based on old thinking. Every concern dissolves when you see the results. This is the moment of truth. Let's talk to our AI agent and let you experience the magic firsthand. This would be the live demonstration where the audience experiences voice intelligence in real time, hearing natural conversation, emotional recognition, and intelligent follow-up questions that adapt to responses. Are you hearing this? Are you feeling this? This is what your customers will experience. This is the conversation they've been waiting for. This is the research revolution happening live before your eyes. For too long, these myths have prevented companies from embracing voice intelligence. Let me destroy every false belief that's holding you back. For too long, these myths have prevented companies from embracing voice intelligence. Let me destroy every false belief that's holding you back. First myth: AI can't speak like humans, destroyed by the demo you just heard. Second myth: AI doesn't understand business context, destroyed by industry-specific intelligence. Third myth: AI knows nothing about users, destroyed by data integration capabilities. Fourth myth: you need huge AI engineering teams, destroyed by plug-and-play simplicity. Fifth myth: it's difficult to implement, destroyed by seamless integration. Sixth myth: it speaks only one language, destroyed by multilingual support. These myths were created by people who never experienced modern voice AI. Don't let outdated fears prevent you from future success. Here's the reality that will transform your business. It speaks with incredibly human-like voices that customers can't distinguish from real people. It can use any context from your company's business, products, and customer history. It can be embedded everywhere: your website, mobile app, email campaigns, customer portals. It integrates seamlessly with your existing data sources and customer databases. It supports multiple European languages including Dutch, German, Spanish, French, and English. This isn't future technology. This is available today. While you're debating, your competitors are implementing. Let me show you the full power of what you are about to unleash. AI agents who can speak to your customers, interviewing them on demand at massive scale. No scheduling, no coordination, no human limitations. Natural conversations recorded and transcribed to every second. Perfect memory, complete documentation, searchable insights, high security and bias elimination, consistent questions, unbiased analysis, secure data handling, sentiment and emotion analysis that reveals what customers really feel, not just what they say, multiple touchpoint and lifecycle analysis that tracks customer emotions from first contact to long-term loyalty. This is the complete customer intelligence system you've been dreaming of. Our proven three-step process transforms your customer research forever. You can call it 3D. There are 3 steps. First D is discover. We identify your unique research challenges and customer communication patterns. Second is decode. We extract actionable insights from natural voice conversations. And third is deliver. We provide implementation support and ongoing optimization. This isn't just technology, this is a complete transformation partnership. We don't just give you tools, we ensure your success. Look at this dashboard and imagine having this level of customer intelligence at your fingertips. Real-time sentiment tracking, emotional journey mapping, conversation analytics, customer persona development. This is what happens when you stop guessing and start knowing. This is the command center for customer-centric decision making. This is your competitive advantage visualized. The Brain app implementation proves this works in the real world with real numbers. 20% conversion rate from app users to completed voice conversations. 2 AI voice agents seamlessly integrated. 850 plus voice interviews capturing authentic perspectives. Key customer segments identified with precision. Customer journey maps that drove product optimization. These aren't theoretical benefits, these are actual results from actual customers making actual money. The future is already here, and it's more incredible than science fiction. We see this near future will be agentic. Thousands of AI agents will independently research your customer base 24/7. There will be persistent feedback loops for every business. Agents will continuously work on insight generation, never sleeping, never stopping. Real-time customer sentiment will be tracked moment by moment, alerting you to problems before they become crises. Next, it will be autonomous. AI agents will work on obtained information and present insights without human intervention. Finally, it will become customer-centric. AI agents will help form truly customer-centric culture where every decision is based on authentic customer voice. This isn't the distant future. This is the immediate future. This is happening now. We've reached the end of our journey together, but this is really just the beginning of your transformation. Visit us at www.voxdiscover.com and join the voice intelligence revolution. Vox Discover helps businesses transform raw conversations into powerful intelligence, fueling smarter decisions, product innovations, and exponential growth. The voice of your customer is waiting to be discovered by AI. Your competitive advantage is waiting to be unlocked. Your customer-centric future is waiting to begin. Don't let another day pass in survey hell. Don't make another decision based on 6% response rates. Don't let your competitors steal your customers while you're stuck in the past. The revolution starts with a single conversation. The transformation begins with a single click. Your future begins with a single decision to embrace the voice of your customer discovered by AI. Thank you for joining this revolution. Now go forth and listen to your customers like never before. The future is voice, the time is now, and the power is in your hands. Your customers are waiting to be heard. Will you be the one to finally listen? The choice is yours. The technology is ready. The revolution has begun.